That's a
Because,
constitution.
yeah, but it's wrong. Now, let me tell you why it's wrong. The country does not belong to the president. There's a social contract between us and the person who elect us, our president. So he's managing our farm. It's not his farm. It's not her farm. That person is managing our farm. So that the people appointed should be serving at the will and pleasure of the people. They will have to bring in some. Yeah, now because if it at his will and pleasure, he determines that most other people will if some of them are good, they will end up being bad if the leader is bad. If the leader is corrupt, they will all end up being corrupt because they can't talk, they can't say anything, they get quiet. They say we serve. If they see wrong, they can't speak because if they speak, the whole nation will come on and say, "What are you talking for? You serve at the will and pleasure of the president." It makes it difficult. So our laws, we have to change them. Secondly, if we have to make laws to take the country economically from foreigners and give it back to Liberians, those laws have been so strong that it's difficult for a foreigner to do business in our country. I mean, I can tell you the truth. Because it is difficult for any Liberian or other foreigner to go to other country to make business. They make it very difficult for you.
In Africa, Africa.
They make it real difficult for you.
Do we have this?
So, if I have a dream as head of the country, I will want to work with the legislators, not to make laws that will make me happy, but will make laws that will improve the livelihood of the people. So if I have the influence over the legislators, I will say, look, you could make laws and you guide the laws to make sure Liberians are the only people who on Rhino Street, in shops and store. Anybody come here, foreigner come here, they must come here with factory and any other thing. Retail thing must be sold by Liberians. If they want it, they have to partner with Liberians.
Do you think Liberians have the ability, the capacity, the strength right now to go into these things? For example, we say okay, we're gonna, those doing ceremony will be restricted to Liberians. Those doing ice, do you think we have Liberians here who are able to do it to supply as the Chinese?
Brenna, let me just say this. Even if we don't, there are models of economic development. One of the models is the corporate model, where they got the cooperatives. So you can put 50 Liberians together and put a cooperative and put them over a particular sector and put mechanisms around it. I think Reverend Johnson's point is clear.
Like the cocoa sector.
Like the cocoa sector, like the rubber sector, like a different sector. You put the retail sector. So you want to group Liberians. You want to work with the banks. You want to make sure that they are protected. You want to make sure that funding is made available, but you also want to put accountability mechanisms around them, that they will not just take the money and go open entertainment center. Because one of the issues people have with Liberian business is that as soon as they get small money, they start balling. So they say we're indisciplined, black and blue. But my point now is, let's put structure around it. Let's put leadership around it. Because at the end of the day, listen, when the people came from Asia, the first thing God told Moses, come on, son, and get law. Get law, get Ten Commandments, get some regulation, put society in order. So I believe that one of the ways we can do it is to make sure we get different economic model. For example, we're borrowing right now. We're creating for everything. Our debt portfolio is increasing. I hope you know that. And many people are not talking about it. Listen, we will not pay. Our children can be paid. And when President
that was still developing.
When President Sullivan came, by the grace of God and all that, they were able to clear our debt. Now it's rising. And the reason why? Because we're in a mode where we ain't got nothing. We lack innovative and creative leadership, because those are the things that will address the issue raising right now about how do we get Liberians to be entrepreneurs? How do we raise Liberian millionaires? You got a millionaire in the country? You got a Liberian millionaire here? You got foreigners who are millionaires. They drive the best cars. They live in the best homes. They have influence in your nation. Why? Because the structures of the state devalue the people. And whenever that happens, that's a serious issue. That's why the children of Israel live in Egypt. God didn't just take them our miracles. He turned the economy of Egypt over to them. They didn't leave empty handed. The Bible said they plundered Egypt. There can be no development with all the people in the country being economically in power. And I think that's one of Liberia's greatest challenge. How we break that mode is to make sure that we have competent, innovative, and creative leadership in transforming Liberia. And other than that, we will go to elections again and we'll vote and we will continue to cry the same cry. Because on the day, nothing will really change.
And let me tell you, the foreigner will not sit here and allow you to take your country and take it from them to offer you back.
That'll offer you back.
I mean, they don't let you know that one. They will offer you back. Now, if you go to the book of Nehemiah, the war around Jerusalem represented commerce. They represented security. They protected the life of the people, the tradition of the people, the culture of the people were protected. The gates at the walls were where it was like a checkpoint, a commercial checkpoint, economic checkpoint, where people who come in to do trade, the elders at the gate had to know what kind of business you're bringing into the people, what kind of food, and all the things were checked at the gate. At the gate was a major place of discussion, of national discussion on how they will take care of the people and protect the people in the gate. But when that wall was destroyed, the city were open to all kinds of people. So we hear about Sanballat Tobias, then going in there. If you go and a historical background, them, one of them was Arab.
Yeah.
So the Arab people been going around to cities that have been destroyed for long time to take advantage of the people and inflate prices on them. So they went in there and started doing business and started selling to the remnant, to the poor people that were there after Babylon destroyed the place.
Yeah.
After the Babylonians destroyed the place, they started increasing prices, doing all kinds of things. So when Nehemiah went in, he took the risk and went in, they saw him as a threat, that he was going to restore the dignity of his people economically.
Yeah.
They started to fight him. They started accusing him of wanting to overthrow government. He wanted to overthrow the king. He wanted to disrespect the king. They said they have in Liberia. You thought anything, you want to overthrow the president, you want to overthrow the king, anything you thought, all in Ikea, you're friendly with the other minister, you're friendly with the vice president, you're friendly with the president, you want to overthrow the president, all kind of nonsense. So they did the same thing in the book of Nehemiah. But Nehemiah was resilient. He was forceful because he knew he had a task and a mission to perform. Nehemiah went into Jerusalem, not on a back, not in a chariot. Because in Persian, he was like a prime minister or a cupbearer, and he was entitled to the best security. So he had a chariot assigned to him, and he escort chariot. Do you know this? That was a limousine. But when he went to Jerusalem to assess the work, he went on the back of a donkey. And the back of a donkey in those days was the common means of transportation. So you identify with the common people. You cannot come into an economically deprived environment and you ride a $50,000 Jeep, a $100,000 Jeep, and you tell the Liberian people they must be patient. It doesn't work that way. But Nehemiah went there in the back, went on the back of a donkey. When he got there and they saw him, they said, wow, this guy been business for this country. When he started rebuilding the walls, guess what happened? He discovered that if the wall is completed, but the resident within the wall, if they were not built, the beauty of the wall will not be seen. So how can I build wall and the people who own the place, their homes lie destroyed? So Nehemiah started the work. He called the elders. What happened? The people started complete. They said, our brothers and sisters, they took our land. They took it and sold it and upon it and working as slaves. Nehemiah knew that if the people remain slaves, they would never be able to build their own homes. He didn't go there to build their homes. He went to protect them so that they can build their homes. So he took everything back from the people and entrusted it to the care of the people, and the people rebuilt their homes, and Nehemiah continued with the walls and completed in 52 days. Listen.
In 1 century, they couldn't do that.
Yeah, in 1 century, they couldn't do that. So if our leaders would not return the country to Liberia, we'll be sitting there every day crying poor while the foreigners are building mansions for our own money. They took us from Broad Street, they brought us to Single. Now we're moving from Single, we're coming to Oro. They're coming to Oro now with the ministerial company, they're building big places. We will now move, we'll soon end up to Mount Barkley. When they get to Mount Barkley, we'll be ending up to Banga. This nonsense must stop. I'm telling you, I get so angry when I see it. This nonsense must stop. Our in-church service and the guys were brave to go to our church service. While the service was going, the usher come and said, some people won't see you. They were all dressed in a business clothes, went in my office, just for me to preach. I went, what happened? We came to see whether you can sell the land to us. We gave you $500,000, we should sell $5 million to where we are right now. The place we are worshiping must sell it to them for $500,000. They came to tell me that on Sunday where I am in service. That's a complete disrespect. So I just told my church, and I said, your please go outside, you get put myself in a room. They said, oh, Daddy, I said, you forget it, go outside. Because the thing I wanted to tell them, I want my child leader to know they see me. You see, but this is crazy. We have to be serious and change our country. And if it means that we have to tell our president, we'll not cooperate with you until the country is fixed. If we need to tell our speakers, we have to tell the vice president, we're not going anywhere. Pastors will say we're not holding any national services. We're not holding national services. We're not attending anything because our people in agile poverty, the country will get better.
Let the elders at the gates arise.
So you're bringing back to the church now. Now talking about the church, we have talked extensively about the political.
Let's talk
about the church. The church's own involvement with moral and ethical issues.
And JB, as you go there, also let me just come in there with our fathers. Looking at Liberia, all right, we are more than 75% Christians. Most of the people in our government are all in our churches. Can we hold the church responsible for where this is?
Oh, yeah. No, let me take a point quick. The church, lack of a better word, the church is the environment wherein we can use that platform to be able to influence leadership. What that means is that what can we do right now with the church? How can the church get involved? Right now in our churches, how many pastors looking in the church and looking for the next president or the next speaker or the next member of parliament? You know what I'm saying? So one thing the church can do is the church need to start encouraging people who got careers outside of fivefold ministry to go into different dimensions of leadership in the country. To prepare people to go into politics, to go into that kind of different things that one church can do. Apart from prayer, the church also need to avail herself to be able to impact. For instance, let me give you a great example for Johnson coming. I got 20 years of experience in elections. They call election experts. So you look at election experts around the world, around them in Liberia. So we can come and go to elections. You see, what can the church do? What the church can do is the church can provide counsel to the nation. And so the setting of election commission, the House Steering Committee, Senate Committee on Election, whatever, I went there. I sat with them. He knows about it. I sat with them. I sat with them. I gave them our view. I told them what was right. So all the confirmations, hearing everything with the commission, everything I gave them an overview what I think needs to be done for my years of experience in dealing with elections matter. The second confirmation group that went there, I was there. I talked with the chief executive of our country and gave my view. That's the church council. Now, unfortunately, everything I said might not be something they want to do, but the church play a role. So on this platform, if you ask the church, which I represent, and say, how do we proceed to 2020? I can say to anybody, and I'm on record, if the churches, if the civil society, if the people of Liberia do not engage constructively in the election process, we have problems. Say for the capacity. We have serious problem. No, I'm telling you, I'm not joking. Serious issue. But the point I'm making is that the church has offered counsel. And many times people say, "Oh, what a church do?" You know, there are different forms of diplomacy. There's a short of diplomacy. You know, one time Nathan went to David and told David when he slept with Bathsheba and he rebuked him. Another time, Solomon Abinujah staged a coup and went through his father. And Nathan went and told Bathsheba to go to David. And while she was talking, David went there. So there are different interfaces. Mordecai was sent people to go to Esther back and forth. The point I'm making is that the church's role is not just to empower members in the churches, but also to provide counsel and become the responsibility of the people to take responsibility of the destiny of the nation. Any other than that, the church will be here and will go through. We'll go through that. So that's it.
Wow. Let me tell you.
To his question, and you said no because you said they won't hold the chair. You said no.
No, I can't hold
the chair. Hold the chair. Go ahead.
Let me tell you why you can't hold the chair. I want to make one case, and that case I'll make Bethel as an example on something that just happened.
Yeah.
You lost one of your members mysteriously. One Matthew in, all right?
Yes.
He's a member of your church. Bethel International Ministry with the local ministry issue a position statement.
Yeah.
I'm sure you're ready.
Yeah, true.
Other churches, including our church, issue a position statement supporting your effort, standing with Bethel, because if we don't stand with you, tomorrow you may not be able to stand with us.
Right. Yeah.
Besides that, the church is a moral conscious society. When people mysteriously disappear and die, the church is supposed to stand and speak of voice. Now, so we all spoke at the meeting of that family. When the church gathered to that meeting, a member of the family gathered and said that what about we in the government.
Yeah, we're the government, true.
They stabbed the church in the back.
Yeah.
I can name countless examples where the church went to meeting and the people who had the different bodies stood up and said that what body you lead us in the government or you lead us in the authority. how they got, whether they got coerced or they were just doing it because they feel they're doing it. That's a different thing altogether. So the point I'm making here is that the church has always played her role. Let me give you another example quickly. When you use the word church, you first got to know the definition. Because on Sunday, tomorrow, some people come to Bethel for the first time.
Yeah.
You can't call them Christian. You can't call them Bethel member. But because somebody saw them coming from within your compound and going to Texas, somebody who know them from outside, they left the living, they said, look at the church people. And she are all part of Bethel. So that one woman will not define what Bethel is, which is wrong. Which is wrong. So the gathering of the church is the gathering of all kind of people.
Wow.
And you cannot define the morality of the country by all kind of people. That is wrong. Okay? But within the gathering, the assembly, there are called ones. They are not holy, but they strive for perfection. They wash their garment in the blood of the Lamb. They are Holy Ghost filled. They have the desire to serve God. They seek the kingdom. But in the church, they also have all kind of people that just come for covering. So if you look at our political leaders, they are very smart. They are politicians. They sit down in churches.
Because then when they will get the vote.
They think they will sit down there, not vote. They don't go there for vote. Because the church have not have a voting blanket. They don't get voting blanket because the story will change.
And
they don't go there for vote. Don't let nobody deceive you.
And that's a critical component.
No, they don't go there for vote. They go there, they just want a place to be identified, for people to identify them and be recognized. Right there. That's what they want. That's all. They could go there because there's a fine girl in our church.
Come again, baby. Come again.
Only reason why they go to church, so they can tell pastor, you know, they come to the church for long and let it get one man. They go to that church because the person who have the appointing power is a member of that church. When the president used to go to our church, many months back, there was no space. There were people who came to me and say, I got CVs that they in my office were people who working back for you. And I told them, I can't appoint you. I can never ever use my influence to ask anybody to employ you because I don't know you. You just work from the street. So people come to the church for all kinds of reasons, and you cannot define the church by those people. So you can't say, the other thing I want to add quickly, our responsibility is not to make people perfect. Look at together.
It's not to make people
perfect.
Okay.
We've done our business. Our responsibility is to sow the seed, scatter the seed. It is God's responsibility to give the growth. If it's not growing in the place where we scattered, we're not responsible. The sower who went out to sow the seed, he was not responsible for what happened. He only threw the seed. And the one that fell on good ground grew, and the one that fell on rocky ground, you can't hold him responsible. Right. So if you come to church and we give you counsel, and you come and say, my daughter or my son, you can't marry this girl. And you refuse to listen, and you go ahead with the wedding. After, when trouble starts, you can't say, oh, but the church is responsible. I'm not responsible for that. The third thing I want to say, the church, where we have problem now, we have to start recognizing those who already are politicians and doing the right thing and stand with them.
And stand with them, that's the right thing too.
We should not only stand with people when they are members of our church.
Right.
Yeah.
We should not see them as members of that local church. We should see them as a member of the universal church. So for instance, if a politician in this country now, the present country we're in, the present leadership, may not be in the ruling party, may not be a member of any church, or may not be a believer, but he's showing sign or she's showing sign of integrity, sign of transparency, sign of righteousness. The church will want to go there and say, yes, that's it, you get it right. Let's go. You get it right. Let's go. But if we sit down and fold our hands, and the wicked people come down on our person, and they destroy them for standing up for truth, after a while they will compromise, then we start to get against them. That is wrong. So the church must start supporting people who in government, who in every place, are showing sign of integrity and righteousness. The fourth thing we need to do, we need to make sure that Pastor Capper said, Lord, put some pastors and Christians into politics. This is where the devil has been. No, this is where the devil has been deceiving us. That if you are a pastor, you can't be a politician. That's a lie from the devil, because politics is a way of life. Politics is a way of life. So as long as I'm in a given community, whatever political decisions is made, it will affect me, Pastor Johnson. Yes. When they were fighting the war, when the politicians messed up the country and they were fighting the war, we're going through the checkpoint. Pastor, they had different checkpoint. We all didn't go through the checkpoint, they whip all of us. So why are you saying that I don't have any right to political decision? Pastor have the right to get involved in the politics, but when they get into politics, they should be an example.
Okay, so on that note, we open the lines right here at 0880-434-555, 0770 104409. We've been in discussion with Reverend Fode Capel and Reverend Joseph Gadier Johnson. Wow, a wonderful, wonderful interview. I mean, I was just sitting down, relaxing, enjoying myself and learning, taking some notes. All right, so if you have questions you want to ask, 0880-434-555. 0770-104-409. So just before we begin to take calls, let me just come back to you quick, Reverend Capel and Reverend Johnson.
Yes, sir.
One thing quick. Our 12.2% brothers, all right, from the Muslim faith are asking for 2 religious holidays. What's your take?
Well, I don't think the Constitution does not give us the place to do that. I don't think that is something we should go into now, because I think as a country the Constitution still is secular. The Constitution has said that there should be no preference given to any religion in the country. So the Constitution is clear. And I don't, because once you do that, that's any precedent for other people, Baha'i, Christian people, whoever will start coming, and it will not be wise to do. I think the best that can be done by people of other faiths is to make sure that their outreach and their outreach is effective to win souls, wherever way they want to outreach. But to legislate of faith, and that's not the wisest way to go for a country.
Reverend Johnson, what do you think?
Well, I agree with Pastor Capel.
Okay.
You know, it's not a way to go about it. Besides, is there any Christian holiday in Liberia that is legislated?
No.
Christmas is not legislated in Liberia.
Easter is not
legislated. So if Muslims start asking for it, what's about the Baha'i? What's about the Seventh-day Adventist? They all need. So you can't talk about Christian and Muslim and leave the minority on. That's the same thing we're talking.
Okay,
if minority are overload, there's going to be a problem.
Let's go to the lines. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, good morning. Your name and where you calling from?
It's me, and I call you from Nizo Junction.
From Nizo, let's hear you.
Okay, first, let me salute God generals in studio this morning. They have spoken well, and they all said a very big thank you to them. There's something the last pastor who spoke, he said something very important, that if there are people that are standing up now for the right thing, for integrity in this country, I think the church have to stand with them. That is a very important point you have made. And I hope other pastors are listening, that they will join forces, join ranks, and take this message to the churches. Once that people in integrity, with integrity, that are contesting or are in the race or in the election, and that mean work for this country, we must join with them. We should preach those messages at our churches. They don't have to give up money before. They said it right. And one thing I want to make an appeal to them. This year orator is a man of God, a pastor, I think from Liberty Church. I want to use this medium to call on him. I think at some point I see it maybe as a trap for pastors, because if he does not send out the right message, like Lemon Bowie, I mean, it would be a slap to pastors in this land.
Okay, Chief. Let me hold you there and move to my Lone Star line and take this caller. Good morning.
Good morning. Let me say good morning to my 2 wonderful pastors. My name is Eddie Hammer.
Eddie,
from Singer.
All right, Eddie, let's hear you.
Okay. Let me just thank you, 2 pastors. We made a lot of mistakes, our leader. And one mistake we ever made that I regretted so well, and the pastors in the country started, is to allow the government that just left to take Bible from the school. Besides taking God from Liberia, making Liberia other particular state. 2, and the Bible says it clear, blessed is the nation who God is the Lord. You take away God. And the Bible says, when you do these things, you'll be slave in your own country. You'll see the world will not benefit. And so we'll go through this thing, and people think that they're political things. It's not political things. These are all spiritual things. And there is nothing that ever happened to that God did not reveal to us. But we are stubborn people and go through it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Move to the other lines. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Let me say good morning to Reverend Johnson and good morning to my Reverend Fode Capel.
Yeah.
My name is Eric Baez Asimene, and I call from New Jersey State.
Eric, let's hear you.
I got a question for Reverend Johnson. Reverend Johnson, during the early administration, you spoke against the alien society. You were very critical, and we admire and listen to most of your programs during the early administration. But why have gotten you so silent now when it said in the administration? Because what went on during the job administration is not going on right now in this administration. What I'm seeing there's not no nepotism, there's not no favoritism in the government, as the way you criticize the previous government. Okay. Why are you not speaking out now?
All right, so you will speak to that. Let's take this one. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. Your name and where you calling from?
My name is Frank Lobo. I'm glad to be on your radio this morning.
Frank, let's hear you.
All right. I'm a kind of confused of a lot of things. Let me firstly begin with our country, where we had William Our Tubman, a renowned clergyman who served as president of our country, whose vice president was a reverend as well, Benedict Warren. And I don't know, but our country went the way it went.
Yeah.
Now, we listen to that. I'll listen to you where you find a clergy person who is also a politician. So, given the history of the United States of America, we have Martin Luther King Jr., who a renowned politician.
So let's go to the point, Frank. Let's go to the point.
Yeah, the point is that we need to redefine ourselves. And you talk about a church where, this is for real. You find a church, people go there because there's some sort of leadership in our church, and like the Reverend said, they are on CDs today, they can't come back for. All right? So the church that Trouble was pastoring that time, you had all of our government officials, other people pouring into that church. All right? And now that church is no longer around because he's no longer around. So how do we now move our life forward, move our country forward when we have a church where the leadership is and everybody runs to that church? At the end of the day, where do we go? How do we now redefine our role in terms of how do we proceed? Thank you.
Okay, Frank. Thank you. Let's go to this other line. Good morning.
Good morning. This is Minister Francis T. Newville. I call from the CMA area.
Minister Newville, let's hear you.
Yeah, bless God for my generous in-house in the studio this morning. Thank you for your selling points. My key thing, one thing I wanted to say is that supporting people that have integrity, that we think we can that can move this nation forward. It is not time that we sit back and allow wrong people being elected as leaders of this nation, and at the end of the day we all cry around it. So I think that's a selling point that we need to start supporting people in our churches that have the mindset of moving this nation forward and are people of integrity.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, I think I'll be the one of them.
Thank you. Let's go to this other one. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you doing?
I'm okay, fine. Please move away from the radio.
I've done that, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, your name and where you calling from?
I'm Richard Flobo calling from Brockville, Kubonosha to be precise.
Richard, let's hear you.
Yeah, I just want to commend your studio guests and actually they said everything well. And I sat down, I was laughing, this country to be very friendly with you. The problem of us is us. The fact is that sincerity is lacking in this country. And this is why you see foreigners coming to do what they want to do. It is stated, I just forget the scripture. When the children of the nation go against one another, foreigners come in our country and lick the milk and honey of that country. And like what the pastors were saying, we hope that our national leaders are listening to some of the things and see what.
All right, we gotta let you go on that. 08804345550 0770104409 are the numbers. Again, 08804345550 0770104409. Let's continue to take more calls here. Good morning.
Yes, sir.
Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, sir.
Yeah, you are live.
Yes, I was talking the phone went off.
Yes.
Yeah, let me just go. Yeah, I just want to ask the pastor, actually, as a religious people in our country, what could be the way forward for this country? Because the system that we are in now, it's like sometimes when you grow up with something, to get it from you, it becomes difficult. And lastly, before I grab the line, like the pastor, he used to be very vocal during the Madame Saleh regime, and he spoke against ill.
Okay, so somebody already asked that, and I think Reverend Johnson will talk about that. Good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning. Your name, where you calling from?
Emmanuel, you call from New Market.
Emmanuel, let's hear you.
One thing I was having in life is that every human being has the rightful intention, but the action always fails them. It says that I may want to do something good, and I tell people this is what I'm about it. But if you feel like get into the government, like any other society, so look at the McDonald's crowd to supersede everything. And when it comes to this, so our action will always be because what we discuss, effectively, take place within the country is what we started. So we don't look at the intention.
Okay.
This is what I want to say again.
All right, so gotta hold you with this other call. Good morning.
Good morning, Pastor Mumba. How are you, Pastor?
Good morning, sir. How are you, Chief?
President.
Okay.
Good morning, Pastor Tapper, Pastor Daddy Johnson, and Pastor Capper.
Yeah, good morning, brother. God bless you.
Thank you for the great job, and we pray by God's grace that you continue. Everything I was said was perfectly placed, and I think we need to add some more things into the part. Liberians are lacking serious discipline. Without discipline, there will always be chaos. That's one of the things we are lacking in this country, and also we need to educate our electorate who you vote for. It has to be an educational process. We should not just leave them because most of them go by what they see, but they must go by what they feel.
Okay.
But they are not doing that. So there are more to it, but by the grace of God, you started on a good foot and want to ask that you continue this and continue to teach the people.
Thank you. Yes, sir. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning. Your name and where you calling from?
Good morning to you and good morning to the Reverend in studio there.
You're welcome.
Good morning.
Yeah, the name is Tommy F. Williams, and I joined you from 2nd Street in St. Paul.
Tommy, let's hear you 1 minute.
Yeah, you know, the man of God struck a lot of salient points. And the one I have to do with the power given to the president to his appointees. You know, whenever you give job to someone and the person is answerable to you, they always want to work to satisfy you. So this is one of the problems we have been having in this country. The cabinet ministers will always work at the will and pleasure of the president, and which is bad. And he said it right. And when that president or that particular leader is not a good leader, the ordinary masses will be the one that will feel the effect.
All right, sir.
Because even if the president is good,
I gotta go.
Yeah, okay, no problem.
Thank you, Chief. Thank you so much. All right, we are left with 5 minutes. I want the pastors to respond to some of the comments. Pastor Gadi Johnson, 2 questions asked. Why you silent? Sorry.
No, I'm not silent. I think they're not listening. It's a two-way street. Now, no silent person. Now, government institute a regulation Saturday night, and then go to my church on Sunday morning by 8:20, while our service time is 10:30, to go enforce the regulation to me at 8 o'clock in the morning, carry armed men, and order my arrest when only 6 persons in the church are. So if I were just quiet, they shouldn't be doing that. They should be doing it to the churches that are already filled that Sunday morning that were coming. But why you think they just went to me straight 8:20 with my service time is 10:30, and I'm the only person sitting in the church with 5 other church members and attempting to arrest me and handcuff me? I have to go in my office and lock the door. So they're not paying attention.
So is it because of something you said? That's why they came?
Let me tell you, I was in a meeting when I felt threatened. I jumped out of the meeting. I have to sell my vehicle and sell everything with an attempt to get out of the country. Then they close the airport. I'm staying here, so I'm with all the vehicle because for what happened, I can't go. You got to be very careful. I was speaking more than ever before, but some of the people refusing to hear. We'll go to the next point quickly. When people follow the leaders, the leaders said need to be careful. This is leadership. This is leadership. Even in the church, pastor, you have to be very, very careful. A couple of years back, I preached a sermon entitled "When Trouble Erupts in Unexpected Places." You know, they play in the house, they play like a bit leaking. They play the water fall in the bedroom. Then they play the whole air. It's not directly over that place. The hole might be way on top of one other, somewhere in the living room, but the leak is rolling on the plank, and the thing might come and falling right in your bedroom. So if you think that what the problem is actually somewhere. So you just need to be very careful. You cannot be a leader that everybody in your administration follow you to church when they were never doing it before you became president. Something got to be wrong. That's dishonesty to the highest level. To be very dishonest with you. That should even scare you. That as president, you go here, all your cabinet ministers there. You go inside, all your party people there. Anywhere you're sitting down, all of them sitting down. Can you imagine? And they have forsaken their churches. The churches that were in, they turn their back, they go to the For us, our restoration will only issue, the leadership will issue a special decision on that. All those who are not coming to our church are going to other churches for political reasons. After the political season, they'll come back. Go find different reasons. Go find different.
Is that serious?
No, I'm telling the truth. I'm not joking. I'm not joking. Don't come back to us. Go back. Yeah, just continue.
So you put the poor out of the church.
No, that putting them out. Not be on where there is no discipline, all is permitted.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Where there is no discipline, all is permitted. The Bible says, "My sheep know my voice, and when I call them, they hear me." So if you're not part of my sheepfold, and you are just there pretending, and something has come, you follow that thing. When everything subsides and not behind you anymore, don't come back to me. I pay attention to the other people who've been there very committed and new floods are coming in. You understand what I'm saying? So I want to say publicly that it is wrong. The Baptist people learn a very hard lesson from this thing in terms of membership, leadership, and documentation. Because all the documents were in, Toba was president of the Baptist Convention, and he had them keeping it. After the coup, the boys were in a home, the ranks are everything. Most of Baptist property today are in private people's hands because they got hold of the original deed in Dota, and today the church can't get it back. So the church are going ahead and made a decision that anyone who is a president of the Baptist Convention cannot be a political candidate in that area. Okay? So the church learned a hard lesson. All the churches got to understand that when you are in the position as a church person, you are there strategically located so that you can exalt righteousness.
Okay, so let's take Reverend Carter.
Well, I mean, at Liberia 173, let's break the mold. Let's break the mold around our
break the mold.
Let's break the mold and redefine our nation. When it comes to the church's role, the church need to be more involved in national issues. Reverend Johnson talked about elders at the gates. The church need to play a more council role to the nation in some public elections coming. For example, 2020. I will expect every serious pastor who's concerned with Liberia's future to take one Sunday. I'm talking about Jeff in passing, take a whole Sunday service and talked about what kind of senators we want for our country. That type of message. Right. What kind of, nothing. The theme of the message is what kind of senator we want. That kind of message.
What Otabil did when Ghana was going to
election. So you want to do that. So the church will get more involved. On the economic front, we hope that we can have stronger laws and enforceable laws, so that we can be able to handle those kind of issues. And when it comes to the constitutional issue about the presidency and the president's preference, Article 58, I told you that you found out when the president. I think the framers of Constitution, Bernard, a lawyer, the framers of Constitution intention, the spirit and the intent of Constitutional was not for stupid people to be president. Or stupid people to be leadership. That's not the intention. The intention was the people would choose the cream de la cream from amongst them to lead nation. Right. That was the intent.
And he would choose the best man.
And choose the best person. So the Constitution was made to create a room for maturity and sound thinking. Unfortunately, we reduce it. So we got two choices. We either make stringent laws to guard our ignorance, or we vote people who are credible. For instance, we can start 2020. All the people who are senator, who are resented, don't be senator, let the citizens say no, go back to be a resented. But if those things don't happen, then we have those kind of issues. So I just pray that we can be able to break the mold. Like I want someone talk about Pastor Dumba.
Yes,
Pastor Dumba is
orator
for 20 on Monday.
On Monday. So what would you tell him to say if you were in the room with him?
Well, two things. 2015, I was one. Mm-hmm. So I understand the pressure that comes to that point. But my prayer that he should listen to God and he should assert authenticity of the authority of God on that stage. That would be what I'll say to him.
Okay, Reverend Johnson.
And we pray for him. It will be well with him.
If you are in the room with Reverend Dumba, 2 days to his oration, How will you
I will honestly tell him to speak to the reality of the day.
Yeah.
Okay. So
they speak to the reality. I mean, don't be in another country and living what is happening in Liberia.
So we bring a speech here next week and we talk about it. Yeah. Thank you so much to our fathers.
It was a thank you
on having you.
And happy Independence Day.
Yeah, happy Independence Day to all of us. 173.
Yes.
Welcome, J-Man. 26 on you.